Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Beard and Beauty Eats. First things first, I gotta welcome you all back to my channel. My name is Chris with a beard, and Brittany without a beard, my beautiful wife, joining me again. And today we actually stopped at Burger King right before lunch, thankfully, because I love their breakfast. I got an egg enormous burrito. She got a single croissant breakfast sandwich and 3 count of French toast sticks. So, last week I interviewed you, more like kind of like an interview session with you, on how you felt about my beard and how it affected the family cost and how two people need to understand each other in the beard game. Don't worry, I'm not going to interview you this time. We're more going to have a conversation about things. So, first things first, I guess, after everything we discussed last week, from a wife's perspective on how do you feel like, I know it annoys you on how much time that I spend in the bathroom. So, like, just living it through your eyes, like, how does it affect, how does it make you feel? Like, just, is it more of, you're happy that I'm taking care and extra, mental time, or is it inconvenience?
I don't know. I guess it's both. Sometimes it can be an inconvenience, but then it's self-care, so you should always do self-care.
Mm-hmm. And I try to get her involved.
What does it have in it?
You want to try it?
What is it?
It's eggs, sausage, cheese, and then it has some kind of breakfast sauce in it. I don't know exactly.
Yes,
I try to get her involved with a lot of stuff as far as the products that I use, and it's good.
I don't know if I'm a fan of the sauce that's in it, but it's it's okay.
To get her involved in the products that I use, the way I groom, and I think it really threw her off when I started using heat with the blow dryer. Did that kind of like, no?
It threw me off. I just think it was, sometimes I think you were jumping a little too soon on some things when you weren't quite there yet.
What do you mean by?
Like a straightener and stuff like that. You were jumping a little too soon on some things that you didn't have a long enough beard for yet.
Yeah, that, and I didn't really quite understand what I was doing, but I didn't educate myself. But as far as the whole money spending thing, I think we've both come to an agreement that with the knowledge that I have now and both perspectives being put into place and being able to, understand from my point of view and the passion, and that this has kind of become a job for me, and the frustrations that you dealt with all the spending habits and stuff like that, we've kind of come to the agreement that, money does play a factor in investing in products and stuff like that.
We're trying to move.
Yeah, we are trying to move. So that also plays a factor, Me, like, especially having to understand that, all right, whether it's I spend this much this week, we haven't talked about exactly, call it an allowance, if you will. That, you can spend this much this week, or this for the whole month, that you have this amount that you can spend, or, whatever the case may be. Just being able to to have a plan, so that way there's no confusion, there's no arguments, well, you went back on your word and said this, and it's a work in progress. That's why I want my wife, involved. She's my number one supporter, along with my kids and family and friends and friendly alliances, as I like to call it, fall into place. But I think it's, you're seeing everything slowly form together now, and things, slowly taking off and seeing where, all the hard work and the passion that I have for this take off. How do you feel now that seeing it's going in an upwards direction? Like, did you think it was gonna take off, or it was gonna flop? I should say.
I definitely thought you probably wouldn't have gotten like your affiliates stuff, because I thought you really had to do a lot more to do it and like put more money into being something like that. I wish it was a little bit like we talked about this morning, maybe would help us out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy to see you've got to the point where you wanted to be. Like, you wanted to do this. Now you've got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I wasn't really expecting anything overnight, to be honest.
Want any? Sure.
No, I'm all right, thank you. And just because, I get to a certain success doesn't mean the work stops there and you become complacent and lazy and to start slacking off now. It's, in fact, I hold myself to an even higher standard now, representing these companies who've put their trust in me to not only, advertise them and to bring them sales, and it ain't even really just bringing in sales. It's just having, the presentation for that company. I want to bring it in a whole new, original, and creative way. How you see ads and sponsors on YouTube or like commercials on TV. They're all the same. They tell you about ingredients, information, or how to do it. But what's the one thing that none of them do? They don't have like the edited photography, or they're not adding any it factor. That, like, when you watch a commercial, you're not really interested in it. You get back to my show type of thing. I want to bring something to these companies that's like, well, hold on, before you actually get to the the company and the content that they're that you're showing. I want to actually listen to this guy, and like he's telling me what they have to offer. I want to hear more, type of thing. That's what I want to bring. We were actually talking about time periods earlier, and I want to give her time to think about it, because I already had my answer of a time period where we would want to go back in time, or maybe in the future, of a time period you'd want to live, that intrigues you.
I don't have an answer. Like, I'm not sure.
Like, country, like, back when, maybe back when they were riding horses, or before cars existed, or cavemen, or...
Well, do yours, and then I'll still think of mine.
Mine's, hands down, like, there's not even a thought with it. I want to go back to the Viking era. Their lifestyle, their beliefs, and the way they traveled and took over countries and the way they love their own people and their punishments that, if you were of betrayal, it just really really dials me in when I watch the history of that, and I would just love to be in the Viking era. I just started watching this series on Netflix called Vikings Valhalla, and it's so cool.
Okay, I think I have one.
Okay.
Maybe people are gonna laugh when I say it, but the caveman era.
Yeah?
And that's because I just want to know how the fuck they lived. How did you make things work back then? Like, you were really, back. Then again, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I would like to know about dinosaurs. Were dinosaurs really real? I'm like, were people alive then, too? Maybe this is dumb questions, but, how do people survive around dinosaurs? Like, wouldn't they just eat them?
Yeah. I think once they were transitioning and dinosaurs were dying off is when that era came in. I'm not sure exactly, but who knows, It'd be pretty interesting to know that type of thing. But I wanted this episode to be, more focused on just having a conversation, a couple questions here and there. Maybe next week or, every week or bi-weekly that we do this, I want episode 3 to have something, a little more special. Maybe we can add someone to the video, possibly, depending on, time constraints and schedules. But episode 3's got to be something you don't want to miss. So, Chris with a beard, out.